And in the studio with us is a very welcome guest. This is about the 73rd time he's been on the radio with us.
We're not counting.
This year. Tim England, who's a dementia special. What are we calling it?
Champion. Specialist.
Tim is a champion.
They should play Flutter Song by Queen, shouldn't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like and in fact, there's a good segue to that, but I'll come to that later. But Tim's just opened a cafe.
Yes,
well,
in Hornsby.
Sounds funny, doesn't it? This is a stage on a timeline of amazing leaps and bounds in the world of creating a dementia.
Can you read poetry?
Friendly. Yeah, I'll tell you about that. I did that on Sunday. Dementia friendly community.
Mm-hmm,
Indeed. And with high hopes for getting broader and broader, but we're starting local. Mm-hmm. And I just thought you might give us a little recap of, because you have come so far, a bit of a fact sheet of from when you first came in, and we chatted and you were chatting to a few
guest
people.
Came all the way from Wollongong. Tim hasn't come.
I've come from Birmingham.
Yeah, there you go. He won. Nice call.
£10 pom.
Yeah. So we've come a long way. Give us a recap,
Indeed,
Tim.
we have. Let me give you the 30-second condensed version. Okay, 3 years ago we decided to start running some free education workshops for the general public on dementia.
Right.
It started off with one. It built up. Demand was there. 2 years later, we've now hosted 81. To over 2,000 local people.
81. That's 81.
81. Okay. All these have been funded purely by the Coringa Council has helped us with funding. My local Rotary Club has helped, and a couple of little small donations. From that, we formed a working group for a committee to build dementia-friendly Coringa. Mm-hmm. That we had our first meeting in September last year. On our second meeting and I'm going to accept my colleagues because I think I shouldn't say this when I say it, over a glass of wine and a few nibblies.
Lovely.
Chatting about what we can do, and the concept of D-Caf or Dementia Café came on the table, and all of us looked at each other and went, we have to do that.
D-Caf.
D-Caf.
That's the name.
D for dementia, D-Caf for decaf coffee.
Well, Diana, my wife and I have decaf coffee.
Yes, but this is this form
after
of
10
decaf.
o'clock.
Yes,
yeah.
we have it any time.
It's almost got a bit of a let's debrief. It's got that sort of talking group feel to it as well.
It has got lots of subtle connotations. And you can see just from the logo.
Yes,
the cup there has these arms around it.
Yes,
and the whole idea.
It's a very clever logo.
I was going to say D-cup, but I wasn't allowed to.
Yes, and the whole idea of this cafe, it's a meeting place. It's designed for people who have got a level of dementia and their carers who are still living in the community and they're lost. They're socially isolated, what happens a great deal. They're stigmatised, they're lonely, and it's a place, let's bring you in, let's have a conversation over coffee and just socialise. Yeah. And from that, friendships start to build. Mm-hmm. Barriers are broken down. People start to open up. We start to identify what particular needs that person needs at their home, and then we can start to bring in some service providers or assistance to that home to help them, both the family and the individual.
What do you mean, grab rail, stuff like that?
No, it's actually more subtle than that. It's companionship.
Oh, okay.
Simple.
Okay.
When people have advanced down the journey of dementia to some degree, some service is already there. And that's out of necessity. In the early stage, and I don't want to be negative about anyone, but this is a reality. It's not uncommon for an individual, if they get and you know this, Sally, from your background, if they received a diagnosis at all, or a correct one.
Yes.
Okay.
So a lot of doctors don't even think it exists.
Right, we won't go there.
Lots of misdiagnoses.
A lot of misdiagnoses. And if they get a correct diagnosis, then it's like, okay, touch wood, Geoff, if you found out that your loved one had dementia, it's like, you'd be thinking, what do I do now?
Right.
A lot of times the medical fraternity says, just take your wife home and get your affairs in order. What does that mean?
Oh, wow.
And Sally, you've experienced this.
Yeah, and people have a fear that they've just been given a death sentence, and there's no
reason for that whatsoever.
You're just going to have to change the way you live.
So when myself, my colleagues, we find about this, we try to get in contact with these people, try to help them, sit them down. A lot of it's just like, where do I go now? There's lots of places to go to get information. They don't know where to go. They need to start navigating the My Aged Care and the government sites, which is great, but they got to get there. They need to know what's an ACAT assessment.
The ABC, the step by step. Where do we start?
That's what we do, and that is a fluid conversation. You can't have it in a 5-minute consultation with a doctor. It's sit down over coffee. A chat may take minutes, hours, days, depending on how people receive this information, because you've got the barriers up and the denial.
Right.
And you work with that. And as you break down those barriers, then they realise there is help. I can go here. And we will hold their hand and introduce them or take them to the people or the systems or the services that they need to help them individually.
Right.
That's what the cafe does.
It's funny, we were at this retreat, we watched a movie called Happy, and they travel around the world and what happy means for so many different people with such varying degrees of wealth and their environment. And it basically, the connectivity, the contact with other people was the thing that was largely responsible. It wasn't bigger houses, more money, more cars. It wasn't more of stuff. It was more connectivity and connection. And it's interesting how this comes across when it's... Happy, yes. And at the end of the day, it is about happy lifestyle.
Absolutely.
And these are all the steps, really. You would probably say the ultimate goal is so that people can still be happy. Yes, they live with dementia, but they have a happy life.
And that's the word, they live with dementia. We've got quite a few people in our group now. One lady, Bobby Redmond, I don't want to embarrass her. Fantastic lady. She's a psychologist, a Rotarian, and she's also got early onset dementia. And she talks about it. And she presents, and she will show people the human side that you can still function.
Yeah.
You can
and
still
work.
function, work, drive. You can still do these things, but you need a support. You need understanding from the community.
Yeah.
You need understanding from the family, and you need understanding from people around, and that just comes from awareness.
Yeah.
And that's all we're providing. We've opened up this first cafe. We had the grand opening Thursday last week.
Right.
It was quite interesting, actually. We had some media and
Define interesting, Tim.
interesting. We thought the whole thing would fall over in a crowd of flames. We really did, you know.
Oh.
Yeah, because we did the pilot last year. We knew it worked, but this was the opening. This is for real. This is now permanent. This is now for the whole 12 months. Is it going to work? Are people going to turn up and get involved? Yeah, are we going to turn up, have a film crew turn up there and go, okay, where's everybody?
Oh, so there was the pressure of, media here, please, a little bit, because it's like you don't want two people there. So,
Well, what we're afraid of was the media was going to have a negative impact on the visitors.
I see, yeah.
That was our concern.
With or without living with, and it's not just people living with dementia, it's their carers and what have you.
Absolutely.
But cameras are they're intimidating.
Yeah. So
especially the big, Channel 9.
And look,
let alone microphones being placed
exactly,
in.
yeah.
and the film crew were fantastic. The producer was brilliant.
Isn't that great?
They nurtured it. They worked. If a couple of people we knew did not want to get in the filming, we made sure they were out of it.
Great.
But a lot of people are open to interviews and openly talk about the condition.
Right.
These are both carers, and these are people who are only very early down the journey, so they're still going to the rationale, trying to work it all out. So
Tim, you mentioned before or initially that people in the community with dementia. What if somebody's in a dementia ward in an institution or something? Are they allowed to come along as well?
With this particular environment, no, that's not ideal. And the reason is twofold. One, if someone's in an institution, they've already got a lot of support mechanisms already in place.
Right.
Okay, they're quite advanced in the condition, unfortunately, but they are.
Okay.
And they have got the staff and the resources around there. And even those ones who are still in the community and they're going to day centres and respites, they're already in the system. What we're targeting is that group of individuals, and there's a lot of them, who are in the very early part of the journey and are lost. They just don't know. And I'll give you an example. I won't use his name. I'll call him Fred. I don't know his real name. He turned up there with his wife. I got chatting with him, and I got to hold back here a little bit. And he's got his own physical ailments, and he chatted with me, and he teared up. He goes, Tim, where can I get some money to pay for my caring for my wife? I go, have you had an ACAT assessment? What's that?
Wow.
Have you been in contact with My Aged Care? What's that? When did your wife get a diagnosis? 2 years ago.
Really?
Gosh.
Okay, within 72 hours, myself and a colleague were able to get some services out to him, just to help him at home.
Yeah.
because he is the typical stoic male. This is my wife. My job is to look
my
after.
My promise was, my vow was,
You got
for
it.
better, for worse.
Yeah, Australian males aren't good at putting their hand up saying, I need help. We just don't do it. So he was doing everything that he felt was right as a husband and a carer.
I have a friend
He
who's in
needed
that
help.
situation, and the father won't let anyone in to help.
You get that as
and
well.
And that's another barrier.
Because he feels embarrassed, or
he's the provider,
He's
as
the
Tim
provider.
said.
That's
I
his
shouldn't
job.
need that. So you have, one, the issue of people just not knowing the system and what's out there to help them, not allowing for that, even if they did know.
and they never experienced a course in high school about what to do here. I mean,
Look, none of us-
none of us do.
No.
They?
No, absolutely. There's a lot of awareness, and that's what's great about the work you're doing. Is required, and that's why you've had so much traction. Hence the first song, "Running on Ice."
Well, I got to be very, very blunt here. It's not me anymore. We've got a group of 6 fantastic volunteers.
That's
They
wonderful.
have all been touched by dementia in some way, or working in professional
Are
ranks.
they listening right now, Tim?
Hi guys. Yeah, they will be.
We should name them. Give them a shout out.
amazing
No,
So you can't remember. I knew that.
Yeah,
I knew that.
They're all a little bit embarrassed. They are. Yeah, they are. They've got okay.
Well, for your 6 volunteers.
Okay, Michelle, Fiona, Annie, and hello, Miranda. I know you don't like
Sounds
me
like
talking
Romper
about
Room
you.
now.
It does.
Okay. But look, we've got.
And the message from Sally and me is it's quite okay. It's
And congratulations.
It's hip
You
to be square.
You should be proud of what you're doing.
It's hip to be square.
I'm
And the
square
news
sometimes.
It's hip to be
Yeah,
square. I've just had a question for you, Tim, from Jan in Perth, who's listening right now, and she
Hi,
said
Jan.
the names that Tim read out are all female. Are there any
Yes.
male helpers?
No.
Wow, that's interesting. Isn't
Oh
it?
no! I lie. There's one.
Helpers, volunteers. What are we
Volunteers,
calling
I'm
it?
going to say volunteer helper.
A volunteer helper,
Yes.
a VH.
Yes, Professor Ralph Martins.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
He's breaking ground in innovation in these research of it's dementia, all elements, the umbrella of dementia, but all areas, Alzheimer's and what have you.
Right.
He is really looking outside the dots. Frontiers stuff.
Yeah, if he isn't the number one guy in the country, he's definitely in the top 3.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in this
in
area.
what he does. And you know what? He's just as crazy and passionate about it, or we are. And he is pushing the boundaries. You know, he's now looking at, to find it for sure, if coconut oil has a benefit.
What?
Yes.
It does everything else magically. I mean, from whitening your teeth to everything
and
else.
we've been-
Smelling as if you've been at the beach all day.
We're being deadly serious. There's been a lot of anecdotal evidence over the decades or over the years that there is a therapeutic benefit of coconut oil with Alzheimer's.
Ingested.
Yes.
Yep.
So now he's now doing a clinical study to actually find it for sure. Is it a path that we have to go serious study down, or is it put to one side?
Isn't it
The only
amazing?
way you can do that is with clinical trials.
Yeah. That's exciting.
Very.
So, look, back to the cafe. We were talking about this amazing cafe. Can you tell us where it is?
It is in Waitara. It is at the Police Citizens Youth Club.
Yep.
Next to the railway line.
You got it.
Yep.
Peter and Dave and their team up there. Without them, we could not do this.
Big thanks to them.
And they have not just made the venue available. They have supported us with police checks, with staff. They run an exercise program for all of the visitors.
Gosh.
Okay.
So, it's over and above just the experience of the
Absolute-
cafe.
Oh, it's more than just cafe. We have music therapy. We have dog therapy in there.
How wonderful.
Okay. Last week we had a Did You Do being played. It's a really communal place where people feel comfortable and relaxed.
Isn't that wonderful?
And we've got some fantastic backers now. My local Rotary Club has thrown in some finances. A local Lions Club at Hornsby have done the same.
Fabulous.
The Uniting Ability Links group
Right.
have also helped us with some
Well,
funding.
they see the value in them. And as you said, it's not just for the people living with dementia, largely for their carers. They're the ones that need the support. They need the respite. They need the connectivity with other people in the same situation. The more people experiencing these type of things, also, it's in more conversations. That increases awareness. The business itself.
Correct.
businesses can help. Businesses need to be dementia friendly, don't they?
Absolutely.
We've been talking about the D-Caf, a new initiative of Tim England and his wonderful volunteer helpers who have got together to help create a more dementia-friendly community. And the most dementia-friendly community right now is the Hornsby Coringo-Hera, we have to say, because that's where it's the hub. And, you know, that's the pilot of this has taken place. But ideally we want these to just grow and expand everywhere.
Yep. We do.
When is the cafe open?
It's
what
open
hours?
once a week, Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
for 2 hours. And it's in Waitara in the TCYC
Yep.
building.
But it's full at the moment, so is there a
Yes.
waiting list, or do people
Yes.
register that they're coming?
Look, there is a waiting list. They can register. They can go to our Facebook page, and there's all the contacts there. We have a fantastic program coordinator. Hi, Fiona. And she's the go-to person.
Terrific.
There's a phone number
Fiona,
there.
me
There's an
thinking
email
of a
there. She's the one who's
song for
controlling it all.
Fiona. What song can Fiona have?
Well, and the thing with this and the fact that it's full does lead to the issue. There's some great advantages, but the negative is we need more of them because we need to open this up to more people. So we need funding.
That's the bottom line. Whichever way you look at it, we can have as many volunteers and people with big hearts, but it takes money to do these things, okay?
Yeah.
We need
So
funding.
how can people support Tim?
Very simple. We have a Facebook page. If you want to look at Facebook, search on D-Caf, Dementia Cafe, you'll find us. Or you can go to GoFundMe /Dementia Cafe.
How much money do you need, Tim?
We need 20 grand
Wow.
now.
Okay.
That's
Simple as
very doable. People can do that just sponsoring themselves on a city to surf if they've got a good network. It's every couple of dollars helps, so don't find that too intimidating.
We are
that
not
goal.
asking people to donate thousands of dollars. You lose change.
Yes, we are.
Okay, thousands. I've got to get better at this.
Take the
but
girl
yeah.
out of fundraising. Look, whatever you can. I mean, obviously, the people coming to this will probably want to support it because they see the benefit. But anyone, and I think in some of these families, I was talking to a girl at the retreat, and her mum has Alzheimer's, and she was talking about the journey. They would all give for something like this because they all get benefit. They see that they don't want other people to go through the same journey if it's been tarred with lack of knowledge and.
If somebody has Alzheimer's, dementia, whatever, and they're placed into care, full-time care, how much does that cost the state?
$35,000 per person a year.
$35,000
per person a year.
That's like a salary for a junior.
That is a report already. A fantastic report came out in 2018 called "The Economics of Dementia in Australia."
Right.
And it stated very clearly there. Another part of the report, quite clearly, is if you can reduce the placement of people going to full-time care by 5%. By doing interventions like we're doing out in the public, out in the community, if you can reduce by 5% for 5 years, the saving of $5.9 billion
Wow.
of the federal medical.
And this is what they look at. They look at the cost to the economy of these illnesses, and that's that plays a part when people are going for funding to sort of say, this is what we can save. This we want to reduce hospitalisation.
So in that
whatever
respect,
the issue is.
Tim England, 20 grand is bugger all, isn't it?
Yeah. It's doable.
If I can
so
say
if
that
you
on
can
community
help,
radio.
yeah. Look,
I don't know. Can I say that on community radio?
it's bugger all, but it does a lot. It will do a lot.
Now, 20 grand, that will cover us to be able to get the next 2 or 3 cafes up and running.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But part of the model
Obviously,
is,
there's some cost involved.
yeah. But part of the goal is this. Yes, we want to run some of our own ones, but we also want to partner with other community groups like a faith group or a Rotary Club or a Lions Club or a Probus Club.
Right.
Now, let me ask you this. How many church halls go vacant every single day?
Absolutely.
Unused.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we can help partner with them.
Yep.
We've got the model. We've got the people. We will come in, coach, train, and mentor you to help you set it up and help you run it so then it becomes sustainable
Absolutely.
so they can keep running from then on.
Now, the huge advantage for your cafe, D-Cafe, is that it's right next to the train station, isn't
Absolutely.
it? At Waitara.
Makes it easy.
So we've got listeners all over the place.
Exactly. And that's another reason why we look at the right location. We got that location because it's close to transport. It's a very open area. It's a very pleasant area. There's lots of greenery to go for walks as well.
That's nice.
And
It's dementia friendly.
dementia, and it's also very safe.
Yeah, right.
As well.
Yeah, that's important.
So it's not just finding a place here. It's got to have accessibility. Like there's some halls that will work, some won't. Some venues will work, some won't. we'll work with you to find the right ones.
Okay.
So the call to action on this one is, well, you can give of your time, your skills, or your money, we used to say. So if you can donate, fantastic. If you've got some skills, you might be able to help contribute as a volunteer, or you might know someone who has a cafe or a suitable area that could support them. We need this to grow, and we might bring in one of the other volunteers in the group to chat further on your next visit, Tim.
So you could move from Waitara if you wanted to.
No, we're going to
No,
keep that.
open
That's
new
staying.
ones.
Gonna be
That's
there.
staying. It's going to be new.
Oh, you want additional ones?
Additional
yeah,
ones.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we need to have one up at Hornsby. We need one down in the Gordon Pimble area.
I'm just thinking my wife does Meals on Wheels out of Turramurra, and they've got lots of rooms down there. Anyway,
Yeah.
Yep.
go on.
But see, that's the thing. It triggers ideas, and you can contact him. He's very contactable at all hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's a member of the St Ives Community Facebook page.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Absolutely. So plenty of ways to get in contact. Thank you for coming in, Tim. Best of luck with the D-Caf. We hope we can fund many, many more. And
worry, we shall.
Northside Radio is a big supporter of it. So all listeners out there, if you have any ideas, start thinking. It's a mind show. Use the brain.
Yeah, very well. We'll go out with one of your requests, Tim, and then Sel and I will talk about what happened over the weekend. Thanks for coming in, my friend.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.